Welcome. This feels so weird. I'm not usually someone who would blow $3,000 in gadgets, but it's here. The M1 MacBook Air in rose gold. So let's get to unboxing this thing. At the end of this video, I'll be talking about my thought process as to why I decided to get a MacBook Air as well as an iPad Pro. So stay tuned until the end of the video for that one. But first, unboxing the MacBook Air. Let's get to it.
Like a light, lighting up in the dark. You make it right, I forgot how to act. It's so classic. Every time you make me nervous and I lose my I feel calm when you're around, like nothing can break me. Now I know why it never worked out before. Hello.
Hey Siri, open the documents folder.
But every time we start a fight, we always stop in time. We both know how to be gentle, never cross the line. I feel calm when you're around, like nothing can break me.
At this point in the video, I'll be talking about how I justified my decision to get a new MacBook Air. I'll be looking at my iPad, I have notes here, breaking down my two options and my whole thought process. So if I'm looking down, that's why. So for a bit of background, I had a 2016 MacBook 12-inch. It was pretty functional. It could get the job done. But at times, especially when I was editing videos for YouTube, it got really slow. And at some points, it was pretty frustrating. Also, the battery got to the point that when I'm on a Zoom call, my laptop's battery can really only last 1 hour. Then when I had to tutor, I had to plug in my mouse into my laptop. And because my laptop only had one port, I couldn't both charge and use a mouse to teach at the same time. So with that being said, these were my two options. The first option was to keep my 2016 MacBook. So then I would have my old MacBook as well as the iPad Pro. So if I were to keep my old laptop, then I would have to go and fix the battery, and that cost $150. But that would pretty much be the only cost associated with option one. Option two was to sell my 2016 MacBook and to get a new M1 MacBook Air, which is what I ended up doing, and here is how I justified it. So first, I could sell my old 2016 MacBook for $500. And I managed to sell it on Kijiji for $475. I would also be returning my Logitech keyboard for my iPad. If I had to choose between an iPad Pro and my old MacBook, the iPad Pro is just so much faster, so I'd pretty much use my iPad for everything. However, if I'm getting a new MacBook, then the speed of the iPad Pro and my new MacBook would be comparable. And I just generally find it more satisfying to use a Mac for my daily tasks, then return my keyboard and save around $250. By the way, these numbers are all after tax. Lastly, I would sell my iPad Pro for an iPad Air. Oh, it's so nice. But my MacBook Air would be my main driver. So there is no need for such a powerful iPad if I'm mainly gonna just be using it for note-taking. So swapping an iPad Pro for an iPad Air would be a net gain of $230, assuming I can sell the AirPods that come with my iPad Air. So that would be a net gain of $230 because I am never going to use the iPad Pro, I think, to its full potential. So it's pretty much the same thing to get the iPad Air, and I don't really like Face ID, maybe it's just because I'm not used to it, but the Touch ID on the power button of the iPad Air also seems nice. So overall, I think I would actually prefer the iPad Air. So the iPad Pro unboxing video, I might not end up keeping that. I'll keep you all updated though. And then of course the purchase of the MacBook Air itself with student pricing is around 1,160 I think, and then after tax 1,300. So if we do the net calculations, that would be, what is my calculator? That would be a net loss, or we would have to net pay $145. And as you can see, getting a new MacBook, the net cost is $145, while just keeping my old MacBook, the net cost is $150. Furthermore, my old MacBook was already starting to break down. Soon I would have to replace the battery, replace the keyboard, make sure the parts are working, and that might all cost extra money as well. On top of the fact that in 2 years, it's basically for sure gone, so I'd have to make an additional investment then. Well, if I get a new MacBook, that would last 4 or 5 years at least. And if I get a new MacBook Air, that would allow me to save a lot of time with day-to-day tasks, as well as the more intensive stuff like YouTube video editing. I think that time is the one thing that's so precious. Time is money. It's time that we could spend with friends and family. It is invaluable. Furthermore, it's just nicer to have a new product. Like it's really nice to like have Touch ID and to have a bigger screen, a brighter screen. All of these factors I think just made it the obvious choice to go with the MacBook Air. Done. So that is my thought process for why I decided to get a MacBook Air. Again, it feels really weird to be blowing so much money on tech, but it's an investment for my next 4 years as I'm starting a new chapter. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found it at all helpful or entertaining, feel free to share it with friends and family. It really does help this channel to reach as many people as possible. And I look forward to hearing your comments, your thoughts. But that wraps up the video. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.